Hi, this is Mukaddas. Today I am going to record another video on syllabus design and material development. So basically my today's topic is need analysis. So basically this is a very important topic, and basically in previous video I taught you syllabus and curriculum and the difference between them. But basically before the designing of syllabus, need analysis is a process which should be taken by a teacher or by a material developer or syllabus designer, because it's a very first step, or we can say it's a process or it's a way which help us to know about our student, about their level, about their interest. So basically need analysis. Firstly, we see the meaning which is driven by the word. Like firstly we have need. What is need? Need means what are the needs of the students. That means what they want, and what they want to improve. Basically needs means something which they need or something which they require for them. Okay, and analysis means something we want to analyze. Analyze means whenever, so basically if we collect both words, so basically need analysis means whenever we conduct analysis or we search for the needs of the students, that what things they need, what material they need, what are their interests. So basically this is need analysis. Basically we have a proper system or we have a proper procedure to conduct a need analysis. So let's see the definition of need analysis from my slides. So basically it's a process which is done before designing the course or syllabus of the students to check or examine their needs, interests and current level of knowledge. So let me break my definition. Firstly, it's a process. I told you it's a process, and it has a standard system. Okay, it's a proper system. Basically, which is done before designing the course or syllabus of students. Of course, this is a process to search the needs and level of the students. That's why it's always conduct before the lesson plan or before the designing the course or before the designing of syllabus for the students. Okay, to check their exam, to check or examine their needs. Yes, of course, what thing they need, which type of material they need. So before the designing of syllabus and course, we conduct need analysis of our students to check their needs, their interest and their current level of knowledge. Okay, then it describes the linguistic deficiency and strength of the students. Of course, whenever we conduct need analysis, we are able to know the level of language of the students. For suppose if I prepare a questionnaire which is based on the basic grammar and advanced grammar and medium grammar. Okay, so then I will conduct the test of my students. Then if my students are able to clear a basic level of English, then I will be able to know that now they need a syllabus which is based on uh, intermediate level of English language. Okay, so why? Because my students are like good at basic level of English, so I will not teach them basic level. Why? Because this is the thing which they have already known. So what's the benefit to teach them the basic English? So basically, if I want to conclude the definition of need analysis, so basically it's a test which is conducted by a syllabus designer or a teacher or material developer to check the knowledge or to check the interest and to check the needs of the students, that can be or that is helpful to create an appropriate and effective syllabus or material for the students. Okay, so this is a process, this is a test which can be conducted through questionnaire, through interviews or through observation. It depends on teacher that how she or he wants to conduct or how she wants to check the need analysis of their students. Okay, so now we have, there are many methods or procedures to conduct need analysis. Let's see that's how many procedures and what are the procedures to conduct an appropriate or effective need analysis. So the first and basic procedure is questionnaire. So basically questionnaire is common tool or procedure to conduct a need analysis, or to it's also used in research, like in quantitative research. So basically what is questionnaire? Questionnaire is a common way to collect information or data from a large number of students or participants. Basically it's a set of written questions. It's a set of written question means that it's it's a test which is written on a paper, or it can be on a hard paper or it can be in a soft paper. Okay, so basically a set of written question used to collect information from the people. It can have open-ended questions like so what are open-ended? Open-ended means that when people write their own answers, like whenever we allow participants or people to write their own answers or responses. Okay, so those are open-ended questions. But whenever we talk about close-ended, so close-ended means whenever we are given the options for the responses, that means the participants or students have limited options for responses. Like if I have given them option like yes, no, agree, strongly agree. So in this type of questions, they don't have right to write about their opinions and their ideas. No, they have just limited options like yes, no, agree, not agree. Then the second procedure is interviews. So basically interviews cannot be conducted from a large number of participants or population. It can be conducted approximately maybe 5, 6 or maximum 10 students. Uh, as compared to questionnaire, because questionnaire can be shared, or through questionnaire we can conduct a need analysis from a large number of students. But in through interviews we can only interview few students like 5, 6, 7 or 8. Okay, but as compared to questionnaire interviews, through interviews we can get more detail about our participants or students. So let's see the description. It helps to collect data from less people as compared to questionnaire, I told you, but gives information in detail. In this method, we use interviews protocol as a tool. Basically, in questionnaire we distribute questionnaire, but in interviews we have protocol. We have interview protocol, which is a document or paper which is based on many questions. Okay, so basically there are two types of interview protocol. So these types are divided on the basis of the questions in interview protocol. Okay, so firstly we have structured interview protocol, and then we have semi structured interview protocol. So now structured interview protocol. What is structure? Basically structure means a proper structure or an interview a protocol which is set, which is fixed. Okay, like interview asks a fixed set of predetermined questions in same order for all participants. Okay, like a job interview with the same 10 questions for every candidate. For example, see, a structured interview means the interview protocol which have a proper sequence of the question like 1, 2, 3, 4, and the all questions can be asked or has to ask by each or every participant. Okay, so this is structured interview. For example, whenever we go somewhere for an interview, so they have a list of questions, like they have list of 10 questions and they have to ask those 10 questions from each participant. Okay, so that means their interview protocol is based on structured questions, and that interview protocol is structured interview protocol. Then we have semi-structured interview protocol. Basically, in semi-structured means it is prepared, but the sequence or the questions can be changed, or can a sequence can be changed. It depends on the interviewer or interviewee. Okay, for example, if I want to conduct in the interview on exploring the feelings of my students, I want to know their feelings. So I don't have fixed question to know about their feeling. I have to change, I have to add, delete, or I have to manipulate my question on the basis of the responses of my students. So that interview protocol will be known as semi-structured interview. Why? Because the structure or the sequence or the questions are not fixed. It can be vary student to student. So now the description. An interview protocol in which the sequence of questions is not fixed. It can be changed or added additional questions according to the responses of the students. So I hope this is clear to you. Then we have third procedure, that is observation of learner. So observation means that whenever we want to observe a target situation by watching people, events or situations carefully to understand what's happening at there. Okay. For example, I am a teacher and I want to know my students. I want to know their level. Okay. So I will observe my class, how I will just check them, matlab how they are participating and how they are motivating and how they are uh, engaging in the classroom. Okay, so this is observation, matlab looking at something to know about them. So basically observation can be participants or non-participants. So now participant observation means that when an observer become the part of the group. Okay. For example, if a researcher want to conduct a research on secondary class, so he has to sit with them and he has to participate with them, like he has to write the notes and he has to respond to the teacher. So basically this is participant observation. But whenever an observer is just observe class without become the part or without participant with them. Okay, so that is non-participant. For example, a teacher go and she just sit at the back and she just observe the class. It's how teacher is teaching and how students are responding or learning from the teacher. So basically this is then we have fourth procedure, that is meeting. So basically meeting is a smart way to collect information through collaboration of other colleagues. Like if I want to, not I, meeting is not used for analysis in the classroom. It can be used in teachers. Okay, teachers can like if a teacher teaches a second year class, second teacher also teach second class, 3 or 4 teachers who teach second year class, they will meeting to each other to know the level of the class and to discuss it how to design the syllabus and which language should they use, like basic, intermediate, advanced for second year class. So basically meeting is a smart way to do need analysis. Okay, in which every participant equally participate and share their ideas or information. And then we have self-rating. Self-rating is used to assess your own level. Okay, other people not use it. Like for example, if I want to check my level, that how have I improved, or am I improving or not, so I will use self-rating scale. Basically through this I will check my level. I will just I'll make a scale on the basis of the easiest to hard thing or hard like topics which I could not able to do before to learn something. Okay, so then I will just I will tick the tick or mark the like topics, like I have done this or this and am I able to do this or not to this. Okay, so this will be my self rating or self scale, which tells me about my own knowledge and my level, that how much have I improved or not. Then we have last a procedure, that is focus group. Basically focus group is a group of discussion used to collect people's opinions, ideas or experiences about a topic. It's led by a moderator who asks questions and keep the discussion on track. Basically, in meeting, all were participating each other, and there was not a moderator or a one who asked the questions. But in focus group, we all discuss and share our ideas or experiences about the topic. But it's led by or controlled by a moderator who guides us and who asks the questions from every participant. Okay, so that's all for today. If you have any query or question, you can ask me below the comment box. I will respond you inshallah. Thank you so much.